ask my question.
There are no Zionists who do not believe that Israel is preordained to have land in that area. Why do you not believe that?
I zone out from saying this.
I know, and then when you say things later, they're stupid because you zoned out earlier. I got it. I figured it out.
Calm down.
I've been calling you.
Here's a guy saying, acting like he knows something and then admitting that he zoned out and didn't listen to what I said earlier. So that's just fucking dumb. He's ignorant, he's admitting it. He's admitting his own fucking ignorance. Listen, I didn't say I said you didn't listen to me, so now you're accusing me of something you didn't listen to. You're a fucking tool. You're a fucking tool.
Come on, are you just talking because people are talking? Is that what you're doing?
Let Fatima speak and then we can pass the mic to Mazi.
Okay, I want to say something. Okay, people in here are very aggressive sometimes. I think we need to stop calling people Zionists too fast. Or
You're a
like
fucking Zionist too.
Let her finish, brother. Let her finish.
because we have some disagreements. Like
No, it's not a disagreement.
Let her finish, man. I want to pass the mic to Mazi. I want to finish.
Because of disagreements, you shouldn't call people Zionists. Because that's not true. Let me finish, please. Don't interrupt on what I'm going to say. So, I don't believe in any government, okay?
Why did they do that? Too many. They're murderers.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
Of course I do.
Yeah,
I just told you the truth, and you know it's true. You don't deny it. You're trying to change it. How many?
I don't know how many.
You've been
How many?
defeated.
How elderly that you're talking about that never served the idea of how many?
You've been morally defeated.
I have not.
Too many, Mateo. Okay. So how many now? Now that you've conceded that you were wrong, now you want to see how wrong you were?
I was wrong.
Well, you just admitted that they killed Holocaust survivors who had never served. Old people. Right?
You showed me the evidence. I know. I don't admit it. You showed me the evidence. Who's the Holocaust survivor that was killed?
Do you deny it?
I don't.
You wanted to Google it?
I said I am ignorant. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure.
You finally been honest. You're ignorant.
Yeah.
So this is the difference between
your claim.
Yes. No. Well, no, you're ignorant, period. You don't know who serves. You don't know what the rules are. You know that they killed little children. No, you know very well that you're no longer
Active duty and reservists have an ID. They have an active duty or a reservist ID, and they carry that around, regardless of whether they're in uniform or not. This show references their military status.
If you're not active, then you're not a combatant, and you know it. You're just a citizen.
Exactly.
So the guy's name is Moshe Ridler. That's the first one that comes up. Killed by Hamas during the October 7th attack. He was 91. Murdered in his home by Hamas. He escaped a concentration camp in Eastern Europe at age 11.
Yeah, was he murdered in his home as in shot, and you have it, or was it the Israelis when the Hamas took over the kibbutzes and Israel started bombing the kibbutzes with tank rounds, with heat rounds? Because we have that on camera. We have literally tank rounds firing into the kibbutzes.
Do you see how weak your thing is? Do you see how weak?
No, not at all. You know what's weak. You know what's weak when you go, when Israel goes.
What's weak is your moral failure. Your people that you support murdered children, too young to serve, as you know, the Beavis twins, deliberately, and kidnapped them. They either killed them on sight or they kidnapped them and killed them when they were in captivity. He said that there were signs that they'd been strangled. You killed Holocaust survivors who were too old to serve. You did not distinguish between combatants and non-combatants. And no, not everybody in Israel is a legitimate target if you're not a terrorist like Hamas. Those are the facts. You should really stop interrupting because it undermines your position. I understand that you are trained not to engage with an actual intellectual point. You keep changing. How many old people could no longer serve? How many young people who would never serve? Workers who were not reservists because they did social work instead of their army service. I can give you the 1,200 people who were murdered by Hamas. They didn't know who was serving. It was not a year. But they were in active duty. So the international law says that a combatant must be in uniform.
One of the sources,
Violates
and it
this
was
international
Marjorie
law.
Taylor Greene, who said, that, you stupid people that are listening to CNN, you're listening to Fox News. It's a fucking genocide.
Hey, Zero?
March.
Hey, Zero. Who else did I mention other than CNN? You remember any other ones? What else did I say?
Marjorie Taylor Greene said it's a
I got it. Yeah. What else did I say? Hey, Zero. Hey, Zero.
Do
Hey, Zero. Hey, Zero.
you agree?
What else did I say? What else did I say? Zero.
Make this a volume contest. Please make it a volume.
I'm not making it a volume contest anymore. I asked him a simple question.
Do you agree with Marjorie Taylor?
Zero. What else do I listen to?
Do you agree?
Where else do I get my information? Hey, Zero. Where else do I get my information?
Gerald, what else did he say? What else did he say about
I asked my question first, Zero. Then I'll answer your question about MGT. I asked my question first. What else do I listen to? Where else do I get my information?
Do you agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I'll answer that question at the end of my question was first. My question was first.
Why are you listening to CNN?
Zero. I asked you a question.
Slow me saying that. They're straight out lying, and they're trying to trash the thing, and 100% it's not true.
The difficult they did, I just went in there.
The point is that Marjorie Taylor Greene said that you people that are listening to that
I
bullshit.
heard you. I don't.
Go ahead, but somebody was speaking, but yeah, go ahead.
So, do you think we should say God bless the Warsaw Uprising or not?
This is gross.
So do you constantly go back in history? So do we say God bless your father for making you a fucking midget?
No.
No, like what? For what? No. Should we bless your father and your mother that you're a short fucking like freak?
That's fine.
No, but how does that change the fact that you spit garbage every day and you're a terrorist sympathizer?
Okay.
No. How does that change the fact?
One at a time. The fact that Prince is a midget and he's got anger issues is separate. And it is fascinating that he and Mikhail so desperately want to be Jews, so desperately want to be victims, that at every chance they get, they want to compare themselves to the Jews of the Holocaust. And so there's any comparison here at all. Don't forget, Mikhail and Prince, Hamas invaded Israel, not the other way around.
And that they keep talking more and more about Warsaw and Auschwitz. I don't remember the Jews committing a terrorist act.
This is first that I heard you, right? Okay.
And then
I don't mind.
The Jews were not holding hostages because that's
100%.
Taylor Greene said that the attack was genocide, or she disagreed with it, whatever the fuck you said. So the point is, did I hear you say?
No, I'm going to correct it again.
Got it. Go for it.
I said,
Go for it.
first of all, I didn't say, hey, Mike. I said, Amir. This guy, Mike, says that he is getting information from CNN.
Right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I did not say Marjorie Taylor.
What's that? What is that?
Bibi.
Oh. Well, you're interrupting, sir. What's your problem? Did you not hear me talk? Is there a language issue? Okay, that's correct. You were. So don't interrupt until I'm finished. That's okay. Okay, so, okay, don't interrupt. Don't make personal attacks. So, Shlomi was kept in the home of a journalist, so-called, who was really a Hamas member, and his father, who was a doctor. And even the kids and the wife participated in the hostage keeping. That makes them active members of Hamas. That implicates them in war crimes. That family is committing war crime as a family. Go ahead, feel free to bring somebody up. I don't want to be the only one.
Bring up whoever you guys want, man, because it's funny. It's not funny anymore. actually feel sad for their parents, for their family, for their relatives, for their neighbors. How fucking stupid they can be, and how they always want to go back in history, but they fail to talk about what really happened during the Holocaust. Jews didn't have captives.
They want to be Jews.
What about the innocent Russians that got killed by the Bolsheviks? Where did they get
Whoa.
those from?
The Bolsheviks are terrorists. It's not an analogy. But I think, well, why don't you engage with somebody? I think you're good at it and you want to get some steam off. Bring somebody up and engage with them, and I'll let you guys do it. I don't want to be
okay. I don't know anyone really who would want to talk to me because I'm probably one of the most hated people on here. But yeah, no, I just
have a dialogue.
sorry, go on.
I would love to have a dialogue.
Okay, well, give me a second. I just want to.
I'm trying to bring Prince back up. Somebody else has to. I've already brought him up twice.
They hate all of us. It's not the same.
Okay, so.
They mean normal people? Yes, they hate normal people.
No, I'm talking about the terrorist forces. So he's asking, I don't want to be friends with the terrorist forces. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to play a clip in the room. The Israel Chai, can you play it, please? Right now?
I don't have that.
No, he's playing it right now, guys. It's gonna be a clip.
And I wondered why none of the Arab countries that loudly claim to care about Palestinians are willing to take them in, even temporarily. Egypt, their direct neighbor, won't even let Gaza shelter the Sinai. Instead, it has tightened border security to keep them out. It's time to name the elephant in the room: Arab hypocrisy and the calculated mistreatment and marginalization of the Palestinians. The truth is uncomfortable but undeniable. The Islamic world never intended to solve the Palestinian issue. They created it to weaponize it against Israel. Arab regimes have never supported the idea of a sovereign, independent Palestine. Instead, they kept Palestinians stateless and disenfranchised by design. So why is that? Because a bitter
Alright, people. Thanks.
Thank you.
I want to read an update on, I checked ChatGPT, so key takeaway. Inactive reservists have a military obligation and could be called back to active duty. They are not considered active combatants unless they are activated and directly participate in hostilities. That's the international law. Regarding this weird stuff that they're posting in the chat, this sort of Nazi-like, no, they're not military group, no, they're not armed. You're just wrong, okay? It's sad to see somebody so stupid. I mean, how did they even let you in the army? Isn't there a minimum IQ? Yeah, it's tragic to see the pretzel that you have to bend yourself into in order to wriggle out of your moral depravity when it came to slaughtering innocent civilians. As you focused on all the people of the dance festival. There were people from other countries. You were killing Tanzanians and Thai people and Filipino people. You massacred them. You cut their heads off with a hoe and you filmed it and you uploaded it. That's what you did. You have to live with that. Sorry, I hope that wasn't interrupting.
No, it's alright. You can see. How can I join the IDF? Do I have to be an Israeli citizen?
Submit your application in the bottom left. There's a chat and we'll review it and then, yeah. Because I know you're fucking trolling right now.
Okay, what do I put in there?
You must
My
have a few days ago.
weight and age, strength.
Are you writing this down? You need to go to the website. This is called www.imaschmuck.com. Your name there, and we'll consider your application. Thank you.
Dead on that same day.
I'm not sure.
But more than like 10, you think? Like more than 10?
Yeah, I think they say 40 or something. I don't know. I think they say the grave was open though. I think they say that he worked for golf for like 40 days or something like that. I don't think they say the number though.
No, it just says.
There, and then you started moving people down.
I didn't move anyone. I didn't move.
How does it feel to be the bitch and the side bitch to Monica? Like you are that desperate? Fuck!
No, it was Mojo's room, and he had met me earlier in the day.
Okay, Dr. Adams, I'm gonna restart this room. Thanks for joining.
I didn't.
Really? Oh yeah. And just like you're not white, you're fucking made that shit up. Let's talk about you and your fucking bullshit. I'll go toe to toe. Like again, like listen, you sent your money out there, you sent your booty out there. Nobody rejected it. I'm actually shocked that the short guy, he must be really desperate. Went with you. It's like at the PX. It's like the barracks at the Marine base. That when the guy, the first fucking recruit, brings the stripper home, and he's like, I'm in love with her after she's been a barracks bunny for her entire life. You are exactly that fucking person. You are that woman on Clubhouse. You ran through Clubhouse. You ran through more dick than any other fucking OnlyFans model. And then you were like, I'm just an innocent girl, and I'm not white. Which you are white.
What's a barracks buddy? These new terms. Can you go slow? I'm trying to write these new terminologies down, please.
I didn't touch on it. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. I'm not the reason for it. And you're really tough, coming at a bunch of women. You're so tough.
I told my guys that you jumped in the fucking way. You wanted to throw your mouth. Here's the thing, man. You should shut the fuck up and sit on the sideline and not fucking engage. But you didn't want to be brought in. But you decided that you were going to open your mouth earlier, and now it's all hands on. I don't give a fuck what you thought. I don't care. Again, don't. Like, you're a batshit fucking crazy. We know all about your little divorce thing. Like, it's aired all over. We know about the fact that you fucking live off of daddy's check.
Hold on, guys, hold on. Listen. We don't need to have 1,000 rules, but I think that some of the stuff, the personal stuff, is unnecessary. And I think some people have made a huge mistake on this app by sharing a lot of personal information with each other. And it gets crazy when people want to bring it up. The reality is that when I look across the stage, everyone on this stage, well, most of this stage, I'll just say most of the stage, is guilty of breaking just some basic rules that would make this app better. And then and the offenders play the victims then go on the offense. I'm just simply asking the question: can we set up rules of engagement that allow for families to be off limits? Could we set up rules of engagement where the like, first of all, if the drama is 4 years old, like, I think we should get over some of that stuff. Dude, some of the drama on this app has lasted longer than World War II. And I think that it's time for us to think about, like, can we have conversations with each other, with people that we like, people that we dislike, and be honest, but without trying to harm them. I think the doxing thing needs to come to an end. I think the including people's families, like, honestly, like, if you've learned about somebody's spouse, brother, sister, mother, father, whatever it is, let's just leave them out of it. Let's just stop talking about the family. Like, I don't think that's a bad rule. And I think all it would take is for us to all agree that, like, yeah, that would make the conversation better. And that also needs to process the fact that, well, some of these people have already done this, and maybe I need my pound of flesh. The way that forgiveness works, and you don't have to completely forgive, you just have to simply say, okay, from this moment forward, I'm going to vow to do better. And again, I would be lying if I said I didn't find the drama intriguing. When Brad goes on his rants, I find myself, and I've shared this with Brad, I find myself in a position where I have to moderate the room. Some of the things that he says I do think are cringe, and other things that he says I think are fucking hilarious. And you have to balance.
They are. I always make popcorn when Brad starts his shit.
You have to balance these things, and all I'm saying is, like, wouldn't it be grand if Brad had the flexibility to go on an epic Brad rant and just have just some bumpers up, just like bumper bowling, where we simply just say, okay, no gutter balls. You can't talk about family. Like, and I don't know what that full set of rules should look like. All I can say is some of the things that people say are super out of pocket, and the kind of things that wouldn't be said in real life, because if it was said in real life, people would be flipping tables and there'd be fights going on. We shouldn't be talking to people on this app in a way that we wouldn't be prepared to talk face to face.
Yeah, well, can I just say something? Can I just say one thing? There are a lot of people on this application who can't stand in their own truth. There are a lot of other people who are just a persona. They're like, the way that they are on here is not who they are in their real everyday lives. So I mean, it's sometimes like a genuine person who's like battling this like alter ego persona type bullshit, and they're not even really, nothing can be dealt with, because when that person longs off, they go back into their everyday problematic life probably, and they have to sit with themselves and their truth. And some people get uncomfortable with that, so that's why they come here and they create these wonderful personas that make them who they're really not. So if we could, find people who are willing to sit in their truth, that would be great. And if hurt people can please heal, that would be awesome.
Let me ask John Kitover a question. Future Congressman Kitover, can you tell us what you think the Dow would say about the way that we've been treating each other on this app?
Yeah, I would just say stop thinking, end your problems. The more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you're going to get. So, this isn't like a meditation course. I think, this is entertainment, and people come here for dopamine creation and stirring the pot, and the listeners also partake in that. But when people start crying, see, I believe this is a roast house. It's a roast show. It's a barbecue party, and the problem with slinging insults at scale is, in retrospect, if you listen to that recording, you would say, I'm also roasting myself because I'm making myself, into something I would probably not want to be, which could be like a Jekyll Hyde, Mr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing, where it's better to remain the doctor as opposed to becoming Frankenstein. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, let's let's talk about standing in truth, guys. You know who it is. It's your good friend Diogenes, and Brad owes me $1,000. I would love for him to stand on that truth. Would he like some proof of my Marine Corps enlistment, or how should we arrange that? Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's stand on truth. Let's be about the things we say. Let's do the things we say we're going to do.
I thought you were going to show up at my door with a gun and get that over with back.
Hold on. Everyone meet up. I think this is a perfect time. We were talking about some new rules that might need to be adopted, but let's talk about the old rules, shall we? I'll read them off to you here in a second. Well, if the app stops glitching, I will.
Yeah, you go ahead and look those up.
Hold on.
Let's just establish one thing.
You're gonna shut your mouth. You're gonna shut your mouth.
Oh, please, don't do this.
Well, no, I'm gonna do this. I just said that I was gonna read the rules, and you're interrupting. So, if this app will stop glitching, I can move you to the audience. I'll bring it back up, but I want to read the rules. I think rules are important. It's funny that the libertarian is the one that always needs to talk about the rules. It's amazing. Okay, so rule one, no threats of violence. I've heard some of those from some of you over time. No doping is pretty meta, so we'll be okay. Keep your share brief. That's an important one. Do not interrupt speakers, especially mods. That's one that Diogenes is going to struggle with mightily, but we'll give him another chance. We'll get him up here. Mods may interject when appropriate. The N and K words are forbidden on stage and in chat. If anybody has a problem with that, they can discuss it privately with me. I have my reasons. Number 8, don't spam the chat. Number 9, do not bring drama here from other rooms. I would say that we're all violating that rule, including myself. So we have been violating the fuck out of that rule. English only, that's a pretty easy one to enforce. Just don't speak other languages. Any objection to the rules? No objection to the rules. Okay, great. Should we add to the rules?
Yes. I think there should be a rule for the hurt people if they can heal first, and that would be great.
Well, I think that before people are offended, they should declare, who hurt them, and they should confess that, hey, I'm hurt. There's an exercise that therapists walk people through where they use I feel statements. I feel, and
I love them.
yeah, the I feel statements would sound something like, Brad, when you went after Shirley, I felt that was a little over the top, even for you, and I feel that you could do better than that, and I feel that you know that you can do better than that. See, this is the use of I feel statements. What do you guys think of those?
I think that's a great one. But also, I'll give an example too. Brad, I think when you were going after Shirley, I feel that she may have been a little entertained by that. I feel that she also may have felt like, wow, I'm recognized today. But that's just me. So, okay.
I feel that Shirley didn't like what she got when she tried to interject earlier, and that I guess that's probably the most fun she's done in the last, 50, 60, 75 years. It's hard to tell with these Gilded Age girls.
I think that you owe me money, and you're not a man of your word, and we've got an abundance of evidence at this point that you just run your mouth. So I thought it was great to come in here and see you running your mouth again. And there's a moderator who's talking about, or who's continuing the conversation about people doing what they say they're going to do, being the person they are in real life on the application, and I agree with that. I think that we should take our internet personas and, as much as practical, combine them with the people we are in real life. And $1,000 if I could prove I was, and I did. And now you're running away from that, Brad. Do you want to tell the people? Is it because you're too poor? I did suggest that if you would apologize and admit that you lied, I would forgive the debt. Because I am magnanimous. Okay, Bradley, you have anything to say?
Okay, so again, I thought that, I get it. You're broke, you're homeless, you're dating a very obese Muslim girl on the app, and you think somehow or another you're a winner. Keegan, has to wipe your ass for you, and you've got your 2 followers. I get that. And you need money. I get it. You have issues in that department. I don't know what's going on. I guess child support is expensive, even for you. I guess you've been broke. You've asked me for $1,000. You even threatened to come to my door with a firearm. I say, I'll get you back down. I'm still waiting for that. I said it was a sleep. Where I was? I was off from sleep and wrapped me up. You know what you did? You went to your own little project room. I come. Then you tried to save. Then you tried to take me. Then you tried to Roger. Then you tried to betray everybody in the end. Thinking somehow or another they were going to convince me or anybody that you really wanted to take your son. And I get it that you give each other all that love and how a girl, the kind of love you want to stuff there. The one that gets really hates Jews along with you guys. Right? They don't bullshit. You're ready. Immature. You're atheistic. Your mama stops breastfeeding you. And you don't tell them. So, I get it. You've got the $20 haircut. You're just weird. You got the courage to pull the triggers. But, quite frankly, dude, if you think I always show up, if you're not going to show up and you're just going to spend 2 years on the app crying that you need money and begging, I'm opening my phone because you're Islamic little jihad wannabe whore. Fucking do it, GoFundMe, OnlyFans. I mean, maybe you should get show camera looking. I think that would be great. Maybe you can show how gays can get better sex because you're going to teach and peg you from behind. I mean, that's great. We know the two of you guys aren't getting it.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in real quick. So, this is a good example of breaking some of the rules. We're talking about drama from other rooms, so we should consider not doing that. Also, first of all, let me ask you this. Diogenes, do you have a contract with
he has satisfied all of the requirements under multiple state and federal laws that constitute a contract. There was a consideration. He offered $1,000 if I provide proof that I did serve in the military. I didn't provide that. I can provide that again. And therefore, he owes me what he promised. He promised to pay $1,000.
we have any lawyers in the room? Do we have any lawyers? Where's Abby when you need her? Look, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what. All I can say is that, somebody that says hey, I bet the moon is made out of cheese, and then somebody, proves that the moon is made out of cheese. I don't know if you're going to be able to collect on that. If I'm being honest, I think if you guys were to go into a courtroom, I don't think you would get paid. That would be my guess. But I wish Abby was here to settle this for us.
Well, I can
Is that it doesn't matter. Ultimately, the question is not what will a court decide. The question is what will the public decide, and how is it that we're going to conduct ourselves? Are we going to platform and waste our time listening to people who run their mouths? You heard just the verbal diarrhea there a moment ago. Brad will say anything and everything, and so you have to take that into consideration and understand that generally in our real lives we don't spend time with people who say anything because we know that they're lying. Nothing that they think has any real value because they'll say anything. You don't know what they actually believe. You don't know what they'll actually think. The bottom line is a man should do what he says he's going to do. And he said he was going to pay $1,000. He was so certain. He was offered every single possible opportunity to back out. And many people can testify to that fact. He's been given multiple opportunities to simply admit, I was wrong. You proved it. I got in over my head. I don't want to pay you the money.
But instead of doing that, he threatens violence. He makes insults, crass and unnecessary insults. And at the end of the day, he owes me the money. And I'm not going to let it go. I'll never let it go. Well, he wanted to run his mouth. And I've paid my debts. Ask anyone on the other hand.
Hold on. Listen, the problem here in this room is that many of the people weren't present to know what's going on. You, Brad, maybe there's some witnesses here. Sounds like this Dio guy, this questionable character, is on your side. All I can say is that whatever that arrangement was, it didn't happen here. That is bringing drama from outside of this room into this room. That would be a violation of rule number 9.
I want to understand the inception that's happening here, right? Because now that I have made it clear, don't interrupt the speaker. I'm speaking. Excuse me. Hold on.
I did address him, and then he missed it. And I need to post this as the 11th rule that basically everyone decides that it's their turn to speak once they keep him begins to speak. I don't know what this fucking phenomenon is all about. The only time he's ever uninterrupted been able to speak is when we did a reading room, which we'll be doing another one today. Reading from a book. John, can you tell them about the book that we're reading?
Yeah, we're reading from the ancient Chinese classic, the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, which means the Great Way or the Book of Changes. It's a psychological thriller on wisdom, politics, governance. You're gonna love it. I hope you'll join us in the mouth.
There we go. All right, nice shout out for our book reading room. Look, I'll just say this. I don't want to adjudicate this, and I don't think it's my place because it happened in a different room. So, Diogenes, if you want to file a suit against Brad, you can go do that. If you want to open a room and complain about it, you can go do that. But in this room, we're not going to bring yesterday's drama to today's room. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know how you feel, Mojo. And I have to say, obviously, I am greatly disappointed that you're going to cuck out on this because I hope I won't ever catch you again talking about wanting there to be some realistic behavior. You sit here in a room with Brad for hours. He runs his mouth. This is not yesterday's business. This is today's business. A man who says he's going to do a thing and doesn't do it. Very poor man in me. Be done with it. Apple of the coward. Make all the excuses you like. You owe me money, bitch. You're a whiny little crybaby. Run your mouth. Run your mouth. That's all you can do.
Hold on, can I just say,
This contest
yes, before you do, I just want to encourage you, if there's any health professionals here, please raise your hand, we'll bring you to the stage. I don't necessarily need you to diagnose the problem that we just heard, but I'd like to personally understand it a little bit better so I can know how to better deal with certain people, because I want to meet them where they're at. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, I couldn't speak, I was in the gym. I wanted to give context for what the vet was, how it evolved into this misunderstanding. There was a back and forth argument, it was talking about, I think something military. Diogenes says that he served, Brad didn't believe him, and Diogenes went on, he was like, yes, I know how that would operation would work, etc. I was a Marine, which I love my Marines. He's like, yeah, but you wouldn't know this. He's like, yeah, I served with SEAL Team 6. I did operations with SEAL Team 6 in this Asian country. And I'm thinking, okay, that doesn't make sense. So it then got misconstrued that Diogenes was on an active mission with SEAL Team 6. Brad called Cat, and it turned out to be. I'm sorry, who are you? Who's talking? Excuse me.
Wait, hold on. Who was the spineless little prick that interrupted somebody violating the precious rule number 5 of this house?
Didn't JB did the same thing?
Let's see. Okay, I'm moving you down. Listen,
stop calling Brad a pedo. I put the link that where you did it in the chat. It's very problematic to spread those type of lies. So that was the misunderstanding. So it wasn't that Brad was saying he never served as a Marine, because I told Brad from what he shared in that room, I asked him very specific questions, understanding how Westpac's work, which is the Marine Expeditionary Group that travels along, and it's either going to be on a Westpac or on one side of the world or the other. I know how it operates or whatever. If you're
45
a Marine working on a ship, he said, well,
And
yes, I
something
would know
really
because I
fascinating
work
happened when I
with
turned 40.
Brad's like, okay, how is that possible? I'm like, well, they could have been on the ship, but they're not gonna like have him operate with them, because usually when they do those operations, they practice it ahead of time, and it doesn't involve the Marines on there. Actually, they might do intel like ahead of time, but like practice actual operations. That's where it got misconstrued as far as Diogenes feeling like Brad was saying he was never Marine. I told Brad Diogenes was a Marine. And Brad's like, well, he was saying that he was doing the special operations with SEAL Team 6. I said, no, he's mistaken. They don't operate that capacity. What would probably happen is and it did come out that he was on a ship that maybe SEAL Team 6 was on, sleeping on the ship while they're in between missions or whatever, or on their way to. Understanding how the Navy special operators, the Navy SEALs operate, and how a few operate, and how Marines operate, they don't bloody those lines. So that's where Brad said, no, you did not operate this thing, and Diogenes thought he was saying, no, you were saying that I wasn't a Marine, which I told Brad over and over again. He was a Marine. I asked him questions, I was there for it, and that's where it turned into this long drawn out like miscommunication. That's what I wanted to share with the actual context.
Okay, so here's what I've heard. I've heard that there was a claim made, there was maybe some feeling that the claim was dishonest, and there was perhaps a wager made, and there's some confusion and disagreement over what the wager was. I think if that went into a courtroom without proper documentation of what the wager was, I think that Diogenes would probably lose. I'm no judge, I'm no prosecutor, I'm certainly not a defense attorney. All I can say is that it sounds like it would be a losing case for Diogenes. So, we can move on. Should we settle other things? I want to just bring it back. This is why we're getting together. I think the tensions on this app have boiled over, and I think we can do better. I think in this season of Clubhouse, we should all strive to get along better, communicate with each other better, and that doesn't mean we can't have fun and poke fun and talk shit. I'm certainly not going to stop doing that. I'm going to continue to talk my shit. I'm just saying that maybe we can decide what we're going to talk shit over. Like, if somebody has an idea that I disagree with, maybe I can go in hard on that. Rather than talking about people's families, rather than talking about, personal information and trying to dox people, I think those types of things are harmful. I don't think that they have a place on this app. And I also understand that people have kept score and these things have happened in the past. I don't have a fucking time machine, and to my understanding, none of you do either. So we can't go back and fix any of the things in the past. All we can do is decide that we want to be better moving forward, and I propose that we start today.
So I can think
That is such a great idea.
Again, I'll just say this. There's one person I do owe an apology to, and I'll get to that in a minute. But like I said, for all the fanboys of Dick Ass and Diogenes and all these other ones, show up. Like, you guys threatened it multiple times. Show up and see. I think you guys, after 3 years, have proven you're cowards. There is a person that I owe a apology to. His name is Zig. I did wreck one of his rooms. I went after a bucktooth prognosticator of old women who was very much Christians save the world, Christians do all this stuff, and he's a very religious fellow who likes to hold the hands of old ladies trying to get their fortunes, and probably a little wonky in the age limit apology. So there you go, Roger. There's your win for the day. I will apologize to the state because I acted like an asshole, and that's it. As far as on stage, yeah, I'm good. Outside of you and maybe Nye, Steve, JD, nah, I don't owe anybody an apology. I think I'm good.
Well, that was boring as fuck.
Chris, no, we got some progress. Look, we have to take the baby steps. That was good. He offered an apology. I'm not sure if Sig is accepted. I have to look in the chat. It's all good, Brad. Still love you, bro. Salute with an American flag. This is what I'm talking about. We can bury grievances, and I don't want to pull any of these grievances up. I'm not going to dig up old dirt. All I have to say is if it's on somebody's heart to apologize the way that Brad just did, this would be a perfect time to do it. All right. Okay. Go back to killing each other.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Steve, welcome to the room.
Hi, I'm back. Hello, everybody.
Do you have any drama on this app, Steve? Any haters? Any detractors?
Yes, I do have haters and detractors, but they're generally speaking 95%. There are other rooms that I go into. Occasionally, they come into my rooms on the weekend, but when they do, they're very respectful because I'm known as running my rooms with an iron fist. I never put a restriction on content, but when it comes to timelines and people speaking over each other, everybody knows I won't put up with that shit, and I'll clamp down on it within 5 seconds so they don't get away with it.
Well, there you go, ladies. If you want to get fisted, you can go to Steve's room.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just threw up.
Steve, you may have to put like an anchor rope on you. I'm just gonna let you know you're gonna need like, you're gonna need crampons. You're gonna need. I mean, some of these women, man, I'm telling you, it's like throwing a Mack truck down a hallway. It's huge.
I was in here earlier about an hour ago after all the drama occurred, and I came in. I just asked if I could speak, and I said I'd only been here for 5 minutes, and I simply asked the question, does Roger know what's going on? And then I spoke for about 5 minutes. I started to compare what was going on here to what happens in my room. I laid down a couple of facts in that one of the problems that I saw, because the issue of problems was brought up, is that the leaders in this house, in the MUF, don't always trust each other and don't always believe each other. And then I compared it to my mod squad on the weekends in that all of us have our cell phones. We don't air our dirty laundry in public, and we have a private text chat, not a clubhouse chat, but a text chat. And one person responded negatively. That person is here now. I won't say who it is. He or she can respond. And his response was...
Can you give us a clue?
Yes, that person is here on stage. Let me just verify. I'm not going to... Let me see if that person is still here. Yep, that person is still here. And
do they live west or east of the Mississippi?
Rather than say, well, yeah, Steve, that's true, or no, Steve, that's not true, the comment came back, well, you're just doing a comparison, and you're basically publicizing how wonderful you are. And what I didn't say at that time, but what I will say now, is that person I see in my room basically every weekend, and doesn't come to the stage, but sits in the audience and simply listens. So obviously he enjoys the way I run my rooms, yet in response to that comment, he basically was saying, well, you're just doing a PR for your room and you should stop doing it.
That's what you were doing, Steve.
And now I'll be happy to say it was Hakima.
Wow. Can I just say, Hakeem really ticked me off this week. I put up with all of his bullshit. Everything from flat Earth to making a truth claim that the black people are indigenous to the United States of America. I put up with all of that nonsense. But yesterday, when he told me that he could swim faster than me, I'm calling cap. We have a contest. It's coming up. It's going to be in Chicago. We're all going to party in Chicago. We're going to join the Lady Hawk, a.k.a. the Amistad. We're going to have some boat drinks, and we're going to have a race.
It's called the Beer Can Race every Wednesday. I hope you'll join us. It's going to be a big clown house blowout summer soiree. All the girls are in bikinis.
And I'll just say this, a lot of rooms are popular because people yell, scream, insult, and talk over each other, and that's fine. And I'm the first one to say that I'm attracted to those rooms occasionally, but I would never run my room that way. But I'm the first one to admit I do frequent those rooms because I like to get that poison out once in a while, and I enjoy it. But I would never, ever run my room that way.
What do we having been going to your room has to do with me calling you out about you trying to say that the leaders of this house don't get along and how great your mod squad is? Me going to your room, sitting there waiting, have nothing to do with that claim that I made. So I don't know why you bring it up. It's kind of silly of you. But
my statement.
May I finish? Can you
sure.
With the house? Thank you, sir. So my statement about what you were doing is exactly what you were doing, and you should grow up a little bit.
My statement that the leaders in this house don't all trust each other and don't all believe each other was made directly 2 minutes after the mods in this in the room were specifically saying, well, I want to do and say stuff, but the other leaders don't believe me. It was in response to directly that.
You heard one person say that about another mod, and them mods are not the leaders of the house. The leader of the house is Roger. And so I'm not sure who
Roger is the admin. Roger is the admin.
Follow the fucking rules, Steve. Can you follow the fucking rules?
If you're gonna lie, I'm gonna call you out on it. If you're gonna lie, I'm gonna call you out.
I said Roger's the leader of the house.
He's not the leader of the house. He's the admin. Is he or is he not the admin?
Who the leader then, right?
Is he or is he not the admin?
Who the leader, Steve?
I have no fucking idea, but I know Roger is the admin.
Why the fuck you make the statement about the leaders of the house if you don't know who the fuck the leaders are?
Because it was said 2 minutes before I made my statement.
You sound goofy.
Okay, so if we're gonna get specific here, go look at the membership here. Just want to make sure. Okay, what is the label I have here? So I created the house, and that gives admin privileges. So I'm the creator of the house. The other admins of the house are Kelly, who is on vacation right now. The driver, my personal driver, he's not a good driver, but Dr. J. And then Ro, you guys might know him. He's the Australian guy with the nice hair. And then we have leaders in the house, which are Scarlett Noke, one of the most intriguing, lovely ladies of the app. We have Dippity, as I like to call her. We have Nye. And we have Ann Hero, because everyone needs a hero. And let me just say that I think Nye is probably the most neutral person that this app has ever produced. So when we have disputes, I would say just get Nye's opinion about things. Because she's not going to sugarcoat shit. She's going to tell people exactly how it is. And what I've appreciated is every time I've ever seen drama in these houses, I can go to Nye and say, what happened? And she will give me a story that sounds like half of the truth that I got from one side and the other half of the truth that I got from the other side. It's amazing how she has the complete story. It's amazing.
And when I was making my comments in the room, and correct me if I'm wrong, Scarlett, who Roger just said was a leader in the House, was in the upper left. She was the super mod. There were also two other women. I think one of them, I could be wrong, is one of the two that Roger mentioned. And they were saying, at least one of them, if not two, were saying, well, I want to do things, or I say things, but other people, other leaders don't believe me, which is why I made the comment. So, Akima, as much as I respect what you're saying, and I've known you for years, your remarks to me, in my humble opinion, are completely unfounded.
No, that's just silly. But I'm not. This is a petty little back and forth. It's not even worth going back. You might enjoy this, but you can have it.
I wasn't here when the drama occurred. I admitted I showed up after it occurred when I presume Scarlett took over when I came in. She was the super mod. I waited a couple of minutes. I was called on, and I admittedly said I've only been here for 5 minutes, but this is what I think based on what I've heard.
Yeah, 5 minutes make blanket statements about how she's been here for 5 minutes. Yeah, make it make sense. But you can have this child's conversation. You got it.
Guys, I have to make a decision here, and it's tough with all this infighting and the events of earlier, but I'm about to eat lunch, and I need to have other moderators. Now, the thing I have to think about here with other moderators is I have to think, who do they have blocked, and what vendettas do they have, and are they going to move people? Are they going to weaponize this ability to be a mod? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hand, Nye, are you there?
I'm here, yep.
If you don't mind, it'll take me about 30 minutes to complete my lunch. I'm not having Mexican food today, so it'll be a little quicker. And I'm going to go ahead and mod Nye. And if you accept, do you accept?
Sure, yes, thank you.
Okay, cool. I will be on the stage, but I will be unable to participate. Everyone, please respect Nye. I will say this. If people get unruly and I hear about it later, I am not going to be happy. You're going to get a very cranky version of Mojo. Nye, you have it. I'll be back in about 30 minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I did not participate in the poll at the top. Does Brad owe money? Because I don't know anything about that. But if y'all want to vote, there it is. And other than that, I prefer not to talk about the drama unless there are grievances that people still need to air out. The mic is open. Please keep it peaceful. Shout out to John. I love being part of your PTR social experiment. Keegan, I saw you coming off mic. Go ahead, Keegan.
Yeah, so Nye, as part of the leadership for the House, as Mojo told us that you are, do you guys hold different standards towards different speakers? Because I've heard a lot of people interrupt, but when I interrupted, I was kicked out. I'm just
What are you talking about?
Listen, I'm just asking the rules of the room, which I did not know there were rules until, of course, Mojo read it out loud, and then I read them as well. And I said, oh, okay, number 5 is you should not interrupt speakers. But Steve Denny said, well, I can't hear someone lie. I must speak the truth. I thought I was doing the same, of course, when KK came up and lied about the bet that I was in the room for. And that's not what happened. And most people that tried to agree. But also I saw JB interrupted. And again, these people were not kicked out. I was kicked out.
When did I interrupt?
You interrupted Diogenes when he was going on his little rant. And then again, Steve interrupted the king. So my question is there different standards for different speakers?
Well, yes, there is. I'm sorry. I've got my mouth full, but I want to answer this one directly. Yes, there is. We prioritize kindness, we prioritize intelligence, and we prioritize beauty. Thank you.
Are you saying that I'm not beautiful, Mojo?
You're probably on the bottom curve of all 3.
I think it's also important to know, Keegan, first of all, when you were in the room earlier talking to Brad, I didn't even realize that was you. I recognized the voice, but I couldn't figure out who it was until later on someone said Theo was Keegan. I think it's also important to note that not just in this room, but any room you go into, if there's multiple moderators, everybody's opinion is their own. If people have grievances with other people on the app, it doesn't mean that all the mods
not to feel the same way about that individual. And that kind of concerns me because of some of the messages I get in the back end about why are you there and why do you talk to this person and this, that, and the other. And so I think we all should remember that, especially the room earlier when it got crazy. There was, a lot of insults hurled at the women on the stage, like we're all a monolith. And, I just hope going forward that we can appreciate the fact that everybody's opinion is their own opinion. And if one speaker may have an issue with, if one mod has an issue with certain speakers, the rest of us, it's right, Sid. We don't all feel the same way. And notice, you guys, if you are in rooms that I'm modded in, when folks on the stage start talking shit about some of you nuts, I don't say a word. There's only been one person that I have both verbally stated their name. I'm not going to say it in this room. I've said it too many times. This person who's harassed me on this app. And other than that, I don't have problems with anybody, especially people who hit me up in the back end saying this person is a racist and that and the other. I don't actually give an F, right? So let's move on. Peace in the Middle East. If we're allowed to say that, maybe not. I take that back. I don't want no smoke. The mic is open. Does anybody else have any grievances they want to air out?
I have a grievance with you.
Not you and me, JB. You're my evil. But go ahead. I'm listening.
I got no grievances. I think you're the greatest person on this app, sincerely.
Yeah, I don't have any grievances with you, JB. I absolutely adore JB, and I told JB that one of the things I like about him is sometimes he'll pop in a room, curse somebody out, and then just bounce. I mean, if that's not leading character energy, I don't know what is. Shout out to all the leading characters. Go ahead, Holly.
No, I just came off my flat because I'm driving. I can't see my emoji.
I will say that I think Brad taught everyone a very important lesson today. That there's a lot of information that has been passed between each other on this app, and if you were to just listen to the sound clips or the sound bites of the most toxic communication, not from today, but I'm talking over the 5 years, and you were just to listen to it, you could still forget it and come to peace. But it is a roast app in many ways. It's like the Johnny Carson roast, or the Dean Martin roast. If you think that you are not guilty or worthy of being roasted, well, then you're definitely worthy of being roasted. But again, in the process of roasting others, you can roast yourself sometimes. And I believe that self-deprecation is an important tool to essentially reflect, but it shows intelligence if you're willing to be roasted and let it go, and it shows intelligence if you're willing to roast other people, and it's really intelligent if you're willing to roast yourself, because this is all just short-term dopamine, for a long-term problem, which is wisdom, and that's why I'm encouraging you to all join us after Roger's delicious lunch in the book club, where in the muff we will continue reading an ancient Chinese philosophical classic called the Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu over 2,800 or 2,300 years ago. And I hope that team building experience, reading what's called a book or an external hard drive instead of having meaningless, endless, heated discourse, a book might be just what you're looking for.
And we read some of it yesterday. It was a great read. I encourage those with tensions and grief, and you kind of maybe, I say this very delicately, not directed to anybody in the room, but if you find yourself navigating this app and you're stuck on stupid at times, come to the reading today. I think you will find it quite healing. JB, go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, I just want to let you know that Sig and I now could be taking applications and vet potential husbands for you.
Oh, thank you. I definitely trust Sig and JB's opinion about who the perfect guy for me should be. Shout out to you both. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to these potentials. Now, hold on. I got to say something to Brad. Brad, are you there? Because Mojo said something earlier, and it got me to thinking, and I'm like, okay, so let me say something to Brad. When Mojo was like, what did he say? When he was using examples about people saying, I feel. So, Brad, I apologize to you, because I said twice, some very variation of I feel you should not argue with women, and perhaps I should not have said that, right? I think because of the opinion I have of you, which is, I like Brad. It was probably not my place to tell a man how he shouldn't have, dole out his energy on Clubhouse. So I apologize for telling you, Brad, don't argue with women because it's not a good look. Because clearly, even though I felt like I should say that, in hindsight, perhaps not. So I apologize, sir.
You didn't owe me an apology, and I'm not a cuddly guy. I don't really fucking care. Like, you've not offended me or pissed me off, and if we have clashed, it's there. I've clashed with Roger. I've clashed with a lot of people. I don't fucking care. It's not memorable. Except for, like, in the cases of, like, the Keegans of the world. You know, the guys that want to get up there and call women hoes. I mean, I can't wait to hear the stories about how, held and cuckolds are, all of a sudden fighting masculinity in the world as their wives are getting, like, choked on dick. So, I mean, I have no problem going low with anybody. Like I said, Diogenes, again, and nothing. He's broke, clearly. He said he was going to come up, he was going to bring a gun, and he was going to face me. I said, all right, here's my door. Come up. I offered a place where he could land, both in Minnesota and fucking Texas. And the motherfucker still didn't show up, and he was going to bring his posse, quote, his crew, to come at me. Still didn't show up. I don't fucking care, because you know why? You guys are pussies and you're afraid. You don't have spines. Let's see. Going forward, Monica's in the end, don't really fucking care. Because I was actually friends with Ann. I was nice to Ann. I was the one who used to protect Ann. I was the one that offered my house, my land, to offer to build her a safe space when people were trying to, quote, kidnap and rape her kid on this app, or at least threatening her, or at least that was the story that was relayed to me. And then she decided to use that as a mockery because I offered her a safe haven. She's never apologized for that. She doubled down on it, and then she made a room about it to gain clout and her feelings. And then that fucking Oompa Loompa next to her, Monica, who's just a racist piece of shit that's just like a fucking trailer trash Roseanne Barr version.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, don't low blow, Brad.
Oh, okay, I won't go low. I will not go as low as her fupa. I promise that. I will stop going low like that. So again, like, I did that. I went and actually, you know what? There was a woman on this app who was getting stalked. The guy broke into her house. There was a couple women. I showed up at their doors. I put one of my knives through the hood of his fucking car and said, if you came at her again, you were going to feel it. I made another one so scared he pissed himself and he left the woman alone. And so I have no problem doing that. I've done it multiple times. I've helped out people financially. Diogenes asked for $1,000. I know he's broke, but you know what? I don't really feel like giving him $1,000. He wants to show up and try to take it. Go ahead. But you know what? I have helped people out to the tunes of thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars on this app. I paid off entire mortgages, rental leases, fixed cars, paid fucking utilities, paid college loans, paid medical bills. In fact, I owe KK a fucking shit ton of money because I'm supposed to match every dollar that I give out to them. But I will never give one dime, one penny to Diogenes because he's a cuck, like Keegan. These two are cucks. So I'll just play that game back and forth and just laugh. And so who else wants to go? And I said, I don't need the bubble wrap. Everybody else needs the bubble wrap for me. So that should tell you that if you're all afraid and you're all nervous and you all think, oh, I don't want my feelings hurt, maybe you shouldn't throw stones from your glass fucking houses. Or I should say, your cavernous vaginas, since that seems to be the majority of what you feckless feelers seem to have.
Thank you, Brad, for your very poetic submission. Scarlett? I see Scarlett. Monica's off mic. I don't know if you want to speak, Monica. Go ahead. I think Monica's on speaking straight, but she might be at work. But go ahead. Guys, this is not an official rule. This is just a NIE rule. Not that my rules matter in the house. The official rules matter. But I almost feel like a subcategory should be no white on white violence in the month. Please, Brad, thank you. Mic is open.
No, wait, you say that again? I did not understand. You said no white on white violence?
No white on white violence.
So Anne has stated that she is not white because she made up some genealogical trait that she is now Lebanese. So she no longer considers herself white. So it's very fine to attack the walking hate between her legs and her actions.
Okay, wait. Guys, I'm sorry what I think Brad is hilarious. And I know I shouldn't laugh at things he says because it's outrageous. Brad, you're hilarious. Okay. Next, go ahead, Keegan. I see you're off mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, my name was mentioned, and so I do want to address something, which is that Bradley does like to act very stoic on the set, right? I'm here to protect women, and that's noble of him, of course. He says that, listen, when people were attacking and threatening Anne's children, he came on her defense because, of course, Brad thinks that threatening children is a bad thing on the set. Did he say that he was going to rape my daughter, who is 2.5 years old? Yes. But that doesn't matter because Brad loves children. Does he love them a little bit too much, in my opinion? Maybe, based off of his own words. But it's just really interesting. Again, the stoicism that Brad decides to display, but then when he goes in other rooms, of course, he does not display that stoicism the same way. So that's all I had to say.
Great, so now I can respond to the guy whose wife's in Africa on a missionary work while she's learning all sorts of new skills for 6 months while he can't even babysit his own daughter. Since you wanted to lay down some low blow shit. And here is the correct statement that I stated, you little fucking spineless fucking worm who can't even keep your wife happy with your own little tiny penis. She's got to go over there and get some booty jungle juice in her system. Since you racist piece of shit, your wife's gonna suck more black dick and then come home and kiss you with that mouth. How's that make it feel?
Not too
Like
much on
little
the
fucking
BBC.
cracker?
Not too much on the BBC.
Alright, so I'll stop there. So here's what happened. So Keegan does have a child. He bragged about it. And he threw some shade at my kids and all that stuff. And I said, Keegan, don't worry. We'll send you the OnlyFans links of your fucking daughter when she turns 18. Apparently, Keegan thinks that's his little version and tit for tat of that. But this motherfucker walked around and said, he said all sorts of shit to KK and several other women. And he thinks he owns it. But Keegan, again, your wife is getting gangbanged by a whole bunch of African guys and other priests and missionaries. Your wife's not studying to get God's help. She's in the missionary position just with 12 cocks on top of her. She's getting fucking doubled. She's getting double pegged. She's taking 2 in the mouth, 1 in the ass, and 1 up the vagina. And you know what? I'm laughing at this shit because you aren't even raising your own kid while she's getting all this dick. Your fucking wife's parents are. So you can't even be trusted competently to manage your kid, your wife, or anything in your household. You cockhole. Like, that's all you are. You have no place in masculinity. And I, for one, never would have fucking sat on a stage talking about masculinity and then in the same fucking breath said my wife is going to do missionary work in Africa for 6 months. I never would have fucking even thought to say something as stupid as that. But your ass did. Your ass got up there and went ahead and did it. So please, when your wife comes back and leaves you because you're pathetic, weak, and you're a Walmart oil change sales rep, and she's like, I'm done with you. I found out what real dick feels like. I found out what real men are. She goes and finds a real man. Don't cry on the stage about how all fucking women are hoes. Because quite frankly, you just can't stack up. I mean, again, you're just a feckless little boy who cries for mommy and daddy to bail him out. Because you can never be a man. I get it. I feel bad for you. Maybe you should turn gay. Maybe you should stay sucking Diogenes' dick.
Okay, hold on. I have to chime in. Keegan, would you like to respond to these claims that your wife is getting digged down by the Africans?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, what Bradley, of course, is saying is not true, and he, of course, wants to show any evidence he can. Now, Bradley is claiming, though, that he never said those things about my daughter. I'm deciding now, right now, at 3 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Time, Standard Time, I will be hosting the recording of Brad saying that he would like to have sex with my daughter. I'm sorry, I don't want to advertise my room, Mojo. Of course, I'm not trying to do that.
Tio, hold on. I'm gonna get cranky here. I'm not comfortable with what you or Brad is doing here. You guys should leave the families out of it. You guys should quit trying to dox each other. You guys should just get a little bit more mature about this. Look, Dio, I think anybody that's ever been on the app that knows you knows what a piece of like just shit you are. But nobody should be talking about your family. I don't know if that's true. I don't care if that's true. The bottom line is, you're not going to bring that shit into this room because that would be violating rule number 9. Thank you.
I completely agree with you.
Running right now. Is it running right now about whether or not Brad is running? I have the proof. I have the proof. I have the proof. I brought the proof.
Hold on. So we're gonna move on from the family slurs and the wife drama.
Of course.
So we're done.
Well, real quick though. Again, I did not. Brad brought my name up. I did not bring his name up, right? Again, I was not on stage doing that. Brad brought my name up, said that my wife was, of course, having sex in Africa. I never brought up his daughters in any recordings whatsoever. I never have. I never brought up Brad's family. Again, Brad has, not me. But this is what we do. I think that sometimes we play this game where we say, listen, what Brad is doing, everyone does. Well, no, Bradley does something completely different than most of us, which he does threaten us physically, threaten violence upon our families. But then again, tries to play this weird. And Mojo, I know that maybe my opinions that I hold on certain subjects you maybe disagree with, but again, I don't feel like I've treated you or Nye or even other people on this app the way that Bradley, even just now, kind of have shown you. Again, I'm just calling out the bad versions of us as individuals. We show each other the worst versions of ourselves at times, right? And Bradley shows the worst version of himself consistently over and over again. And one of those times, yes, it was the threat of sexual violence upon my child, who is 2.5 years old. It was not about her joining OnlyFans. It was truly about him having sex with her in a way that was gruesome and violent and terrible. So I wish Bradley would apologize, of course. Again, Bradley, you know I've never spoken about your
Yeah, I think you're in the matrix a little bit. Here's the thing though, Keegan. You're in the matrix a little bit. Hold on, let me just say something really quick. Oh, you could hear us, so it's just me? Yeah. Keegan, if you didn't land, go ahead and land.
Yeah, here's my final thought, which is that again, let us enjoy the troll aspect of this app. I enjoy it, but at the same time, if individuals want to claim masculinity or stoicism or some form of version of that, they should be held to the standard that they consider themselves.
Cut the NDAA by $400 billion per year and bring down our national defense budget to $600 billion a year.
I came and protected you, Ann, because I know that that's wrong. But then you did it to me, so it doesn't actually hold any form of sees fit. It's not a man's word. That's what I as well. So that's all I have to say. And I appreciate this. That's not the it's sad. And it hurts. It really does hurt.
Yeah, leave these kids out of it. Okay, wait, now Dianaji, is that how we say your name? Dianaji?
However you like.
I'm just gonna call you D. Here's the thing. We don't want to fight, D, so if you want to fight with Brad, can we not do that right now?
No, I don't want to fight either, and I honestly, the only time that it has ever become a fight and not a discussion is as Dio, the one above me, was just saying, when you put Brad into a position where he has to face the things that he said, he gets triggered in the most, typical way and begins to say very out of pocket, aggressive and disrespectful things. He brings wives, children, friends, family. He brings everything in there, and you don't have to say anything about anything else. He's going to do it, and why? Because he's angry. I wanted to bring the proof. This is one of many recordings that exist of Brad, where he is absolutely unrestrained and threatening to kill, threatening to beat, threatening to rape. I mean, and we're not talking about saying, I'm going to fuck you up. We're talking about, I'm going to put my penis in your asshole. And I want to be clear. I don't want to fight. I want to agree with Keegan's sentiment here. And what I had hoped when I first came onto the application is that this would be a good place to share ideas and meet people. And while we do appreciate, some of us have things to lose, some of us have situations where we don't trust others because if we expressed ourselves, they would try to cancel us or hurt us in some way. Brad proves the reason for that. I would like to be people who do what we say we're going to do, and I would like to be held to that standard. I've apologized to people on this application because I wanted to be held to that standard. I've come into this room and apologized to people that I was upset with because I want to be held to that standard. And so all I'm asking is that we consider the facts. And the facts are, Brad did wager. Brad did wager. And he should pay that money. He should be held to pay. He should be held to his word. I want to be held to my word. Sometimes I fail, and the people around me have to remind me. And sometimes I try to run from my duties and my obligations. But I'm less of a man when I do that, and I shouldn't respond with anger. And I shouldn't respond by losing my temper. I do like to lose my temper performatively because I think it's funny, but it's not because I want to fight. And at the end of the day, if anyone wants proof of my military service, if that's the difference for you, let's go ahead and arrange that. You know, at no point in any of the insane, vulgar, and unhinged ramblings that issued from Bradley did I not entertain every proposition he made for collecting the debt that he owed me. It even offered him on multiple occasions monetarily.
You need some new material, Diogenes.
I don't need any new material. All right? I offered him multiple opportunities to get off that highway he'd gotten himself on by running his mouth. I said, listen, Brad, if you don't have the money, you don't want to pay the money, there's some concern there. How about you just issue an apology? And then you know what he did when
Don't quit your day job.
Fuck you. He said he engaged in vulgarities. He engaged in profanities. He engaged in graphic descriptions of the ways he wanted to hurt me. He wanted to hurt my wife. He wanted to hurt loved ones. He wanted to hurt people that I cared about.
Slow down, one mic. Listen,
All right.
I hate that we can't have
That's
a clubhouse duel. I hate that we can't have a clubhouse duel between these men who are at war, and then we can bet on who would emerge.
I agree. And I have.
This is a ridiculous waste of time.
I have told Bradley, the original proposition, when Brad said that he would not pay the money, the original proposition was made that we should have a match where we have a sanctioned fight so that neither party can claim that they were being assaulted or battered under the state laws because they don't provide for mutual combat regardless. The only way to fight is to have sanctioned fights at gyms. I said we should do that. We can actually settle this. Since you want to hurt me.
Diogenes, hold on. The city of Seattle, which is not far from where I live, actually does allow for mutual combat. So if you guys want to come to Seattle, we can videotape it and we can stream it. What do you guys think?
Okay, I'll try to plan that, but I'm going to stick to what did happen, which is that he told us where he was. I told everyone where I was. We saw the halfway point was somewhere in Tennessee, and we agreed that would be fair. That if the issue for Brad was that he didn't want to pay his debt unless he had an opportunity to physically hurt me, that I would provide that in a sanctioned environment, but he would have to agree that he would sign the documents agreeing that he did make the bet, he did have to pay me the money, and then I would happily engage in consensual combat with him, sanctioned in a way that neither of us could claim that either party assaulted or battered the other person or attacked them or anything like that. And again, I see Sig, running his fucking mouth in the chat. Guess what, Sig? Brad doesn't do what he says he's going to do. So it'll be a cold day in hell before the man who ran his mouth and bet me money he won't pay me tells me he's not going to assault me, or he tells me he's not going to cry to the police if he gets the bad end of that fight, because he absolutely is untrustworthy. All right? So I have something to lose. Brad probably comes onto the application and runs his mouth because he has nothing to lose. Because there's no one that loves him, that relies on him, that depends on him for being brought up and taught the ways of the world. He just runs his fucking mouth because no one would care if he died in an alley somewhere in a fight with some stranger he met on the internet over $1,000. Shut your mouth, JB.
Shut your mouth. Okay, all right. Okay. Here we go.
Thank you for the day. Thank you for the opportunity.
Here's what I would like to know, ladies and gentlemen. I just have one question.
anybody can honestly just help me understand, why do we go into rooms and spaces and stages with people we don't like? If you don't like certain speakers and certain personalities, why don't you just block them? Why do you engage with them? Why do you come into their rooms? Why do you open private rooms to talk shit about them? Can somebody help me understand why y'all entertain and interact with people you don't like and go on stages and fight with them?
Yes, it's because only somebody who makes you feel uncomfortable in your own skin can make you a better person.
Well, that's kind of
Thank you, Yogi. Yes, Steve.
Hold on, I'm gonna jump in, Steve, real quick. I just wanted to let everyone know that at 4:20 Eastern time, which we're approaching, we're gonna read. It's gonna be a book reading, and what I'm gonna do is keep people on the stage that want to participate in the book reading. Who's doing the thumbs down? Who's that? Don't let me catch you. No one promoting the book reading. It's weird. We're gonna read. I understand that not everybody on this stage is a book reader. But as John likes to say, it is the oldest and the best external hard drive. It's a word called books, and we're going to continue reading from this book. It's a good book. It was fun reading through it. Some of you that were reading were on the stage. They're on the stage today. We welcome everyone that wants to participate. You will be called upon to read out loud. But everyone's welcome to participate. You will not be able to interrupt, though. It's going to be a different type of room. It's going to start at 4:20 Eastern Standard Time. And if you or John, if you guys want to post in the chat or up above, we can get the reading material. And correct me if I'm wrong. We left off on verse 49. Is that correct?
Ooh, I thought it was lower than that. John?
No, it was about that. It was right up in there.
I think we left off on verse 49. I remember feeling a particular kind of way because it wasn't exactly 50. So it was either 48 or 49. Anyhow. All right. Hopefully you guys are feeling better. Got a little anxiety out of the system, you know. I welcome you guys to come and read. Steve, I hope you could stick around for the book reading. I think your voice would be great in reading out loud. That would be amazing. Holly, I believe you know how to read. Jebediah, you've heard of books. You're welcome to stay. Yeah, you're all welcome to stay. You're all welcome to participate.
Yeah, it's called the Tao Te Ching, written over 2,300 years ago. It's the second most translated book in human history. You're gonna love it. If you've never experienced the Tao, you can become the Tao by reading the book about the Tao. Instead of arguing endlessly about things and having heated discourse and road raging all the time on the set, try to read a book. You might like the experience.
Oh, and by the way, we will be doing a, what do we call it, rational discussion group. That'll start right after the book reading. We will be opening a room. 1:50 is when we open the room, but we begin at 2 o'clock Pacific time. That's 5 o'clock Eastern for those that need the conversion. Thank you.
You know, I will say...
Oh, John, sorry, I just want to let them know that I added the PDF link at the top. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, you've experienced Clown House up until now, but until you read a book with other people on this stage and you actually create something together, you really have no common bonds or desire to even like each other, but at least you can remember that experience of reading the Tao Te Ching with that person and, you know, educating yourself. So, in retrospect, when you ask yourself if it was worth it to be here for 5 years arguing and screaming and raising your blood pressure versus reading a book, you may realize that you are your own worst enemy. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I am complete.
Hey, in the effort to piss Roger off, everybody in the room who don't know me and Roger was racing in a swim match. I'm really bad. If no one believes it, please show up and bring your money. Y'all can be shocked, just like Roger would be shocked and dismayed.
I will be wearing a onesie bathing suit for this event.
I might lose, man. I just might lose if we come in a fucking wannabe bathing system.
What's the problem with Speedo? Are they out? They're not popular anymore?
I will say this about Akima, my personal experience, when he loses a bet, he pays up immediately.
Thanks for telling anybody beat me in the bet, but thanks for vouching.
I didn't say what the bet was or what I won. No problem. You mess with me anytime you want.
Just for the record, I bet it on Kamala, you bet it on Trump. I lost. Clearly I lost.
Oh, I hate that you made that bet. It was so obvious she was gonna lose. But God.
Well, to be specific, it would be that Trump would win by more than 100 electoral votes. That was the bet, and I won.
That wasn't the bet. The bet was just a straight up bet. He probably made it with somebody else. No,
Okay.
It was a straight up victory.
I'll take your word for it. And also, it would be remiss of me to say that the other person I had a bet with was JB. I won't say what the bet was, but he lost and he paid me immediately also.
Well, I lost to you and Anthony. And paid both of that.
I offered to bet anyone that would take the bet, predicting that Trump was going to win. And the three different people took that bet, and all three of those people paid up. They didn't pay me cash. They all donated to my favorite charity, and they gave me a screenshot to prove it. So some people do pay the bets.
So PTR, I updated my profile. That's the 49th verse in this 150-page document of the Tao Te Ching that we will be reading from in 8 minutes.
Yeah, and for those of you that are not familiar, and Anson, welcome. After the book reading, immediately following the book reading, we'll be opening a separate room in the Rational Discussion Group. And we don't even have the title yet, although we've kind of noodled around the topic. I will be sending private messages to those involved in the Rational Discussion Group. So Anson, please check your back channel soon. And so just stick around. We're going to have programming all day.
With a cast of characters, no doubt.
That's why I came in. I couldn't figure out what was going on with the 4 o'clock rational thinking room. So I'll hang around and see what happens.
Yep, you got it. We're going to do a little book reading here in about 7 minutes, and then that'll flow right into the Rational Discussion Group. And for those that don't know, the Rational Discussion Group, we open the room at 1:50 Pacific time. And the reason we do that is we want to allow people to get in there, so then we can open the room and have a discussion that starts at 2 o'clock sharp Pacific time. And we leave the chat open, unlike some discussion groups. Thank you.
What are we reading today before the rational thinking room?
Oh, John, this is your territory.
So if you click the link above, you will get a PDF, and it's called the Tao Te Ching. It's written by Lao Tzu in ancient China. It's about governance, philosophy, psychology, wisdom, mysticism, philosophy. I think you're going to love it if you've never heard it or read from it. It's the second most translated book in human history.
Yeah, there were some interesting takeaways from yesterday's reading. Hopefully we get a similar crowd that we can build upon. And when we're done with this book, we'll pick new books. The second book that we'll be doing is The Art of War. So we're gonna get to a lot of things. Eventually we'll get to Twilight. We're noodling on the idea of reading out loud Huck Finn, just to challenge the sensibilities of certain people. But yeah, we're gonna be reading a lot of things.
John, do you already have a curated list of books you want to go through on Clubhouse?
Well, I don't want to get ahead of anything here. I would love to see, a room dedicated actually just reading one book.
I would love to get us to all read Common Sense by Thomas Paine. It's a very short read, but it's a very important read. It's quite literally what led to the revolution. I don't know why Bhima would give me the fire. Thomas Paine was the one that started the revolution that led to the United States of America. And as an anarchist, I can't believe that you're in support of that, but it's okay. All right, people. Who's going to be reading? Because if you're not going to read, I'm going to gently move you to the audience. If you plan on participating in the reading material can be found up above in the link. All you have to do is click on it. We will start. John kicks us off. He will read 5 verses, and then we will go to the next reader. And we will do this for 30 minutes, and then we have to jump over to another room. So we'll do 30 minutes of reading, starting in about 3 minutes. John will get us started on verse 49. And again, anyone that wants to participate, feel free. We're losing people that don't like to read. Okay. Hopefully the people that are... Listen, if I call on you and you don't read, it's going to be hell to pay. We do not need that kind of noise up in here. Let's see. Holly, you're in for reading? Holly?
Yeah, I'll read.
Okay. Myth, do you know how to read? Myth, do you know how to read? Myth going once, myth going twice, myth going to the audience. Bhima, I don't know if you do read a lot, but you know how to read, right?
I don't have any comprehension skills, but I can read words. I know how to sound them out.
Perfect. No, that'll work. You'll fit in perfect. Angel?